Okay, folks, what's going on? Let's cut the music. Let's get it in. Welcome back. Welcome back to another WMMA mashup. We at round 9.
Round nine, dog.
What's
Round
good?
nine. That's
Yes, sir.
crazy. That's
It's
great.
round 9. I'm all busted up, man. I'm looking
Yes,
out one eye.
bro. I'm telling you, we
hey,
tired here, dog. We tested our cardio.
hey, my takedown defense is on 1 right now.
I'm throwing them lazy jabs right now, dog. Footwork gone.
Oh man, so he resting on the cage, man.
Yes, yes.
Bro, what's been going on, man?
Man, combo. We in the South, dog, and this heat. We in this
Dude.
heat wave, dude. Oh my gosh.
I- Man, I'm sad, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like I'm already kind of off schedule right now because I filled in for somebody yesterday. I
Mm-hmm.
decided to work, man. I pulled a 12, bro. I pulled a
Mm.
dozen.
Oof.
I pulled an extra dozen yesterday, man. And then coming home, and I was like, I came inside. I've been out, and my air conditioner was off because I was gone for 12 hours. Man, I came in
Yeah.
like 83, man, 83 and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah. You
You
can't
know.
leave it off, dog. You gotta leave it on something, dog.
Mm-hmm.
High 70s or something, dude, because when you try to cool it off and it's 80 something in your house, dude,
Ooh,
it's torture, bro.
yeah, overwork it.
It's
Yeah.
torture. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Man.
can't come home. I can't come home to a hot house, dude. I'm hot at work all day too. Oh my gosh.
Dude, man. But oh shoot, man. What's going on? Easy in the building. G Frame. What's up,
Yes,
man?
sir. What's popping, fellas?
What's up? We here, man. We here, BJ. But yeah, man. We had a lot of stuff going on this weekend, man. A lot of fights, but
Yeah,
man,
we had a lot of MMA last week.
yeah, yeah, a
We
lot of
did.
stuff. But
Uh-oh.
you just hit me in the head with something, when we was texting and
Yes.
bro, like I was enjoying the weekend as a whole, but as far as like what you were saying, man, like if you would have asked me who looked like a star or who just looked memorable, man, like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's a good point. That is a good point
Hmm.
because we hardcore fans, so we always
Yes.
be like, we be filling y'all in, we be telling y'all who to look out for, but when you hit me with that memorable, man, that was a key word right there. I was
Yes.
like, mm. I was like, you know what? I was at a lost words, man. I was
Yeah,
like,
dude. Because I mean, I'm
mm,
just, because you telling me, what I'm saying? Like, you always hit me off, hey, bro, make sure
mm-hmm,
you watch this fight. Make sure you watch this fight. And I'm like, all right, bet. I'm watching. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
And then, but then like, I hate that feeling, man. When you walk away from it, when the fight's over, it's like, I'm not gonna remember that.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not. It's like the last memorable fight for me, as in the last couple fight cards, has been that. What was that fight? That strawweight fight. Um,
Oh,
uh,
uh,
Ray Dos
um,
Santos and
Rando Santos. I know who you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking
She,
about? Yes,
yeah,
she
yeah,
lost.
she lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, th- that fight was a memorable fight. These other fights, man, I'm just like, man, they just and I told you, you always told me, watch out. I heard you say, you real good about new people coming into the UFC. You always know who they are, what they about, And then I heard you talking about this Russian Ronda girl. You know what I'm saying? And combo, listen, I watch every single fight card, and I watch every single fight UFC wise. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Every last one. I did not remember either one of them girls fighting. What was it? Russian Ronda and what was the other
Uh,
girl name?
Melissa Mullins. Yeah, Melissa Mullins.
Bro, I
And
ain't saying, and they like Melissa Mullins. This was her third or fourth fight in the UFC, and I'm like,
mm-hmm,
what? You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
I don't even like that. Could have been her debut, and I wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have. It would have. I just went on like, okay, this is her debut. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Dude. Oh, it was Ray Dos Santos versus Alice Ardelian. Yeah,
Yeah,
that fight
yeah.
was memorable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But these, you know what I'm saying? These girls are 4 or 5 fights in the UFC, 3, 4, 5 fights in, dude, and they not leaving their stamp, dude. They not making their mark. That bantamweight fight this past weekend, they not making their mark, bro. You
No,
know?
like, cause you I know what it was. You had texted me because I was asleep actually. I was asleep because like I said, that card was early. So when I got your
Yeah.
text, you was like, no wonder I don't remember Russian Ronda. I was like,
I
I,
was like,
and I was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, she lost. I was like,
yeah,
but on
dude.
top of that, not even the fact that she lost, but it was how she performed, how she lost. Like, I
Right.
see what you was talking about because when I went back and watched it, I was like, man, I'm not gonna remember this performance because BJ, I don't know, you think the same way. Like, it's one thing to put on like a back and forth action fight, but it's one
Yes.
thing, but it's another to just be in there being a punching bag.
Yes.
And that's kind of
Yes.
what she was to me. She was just taking punches. Like that ain't memorable to me. You know what I mean? Like that really ain't like something I'm gonna remember as, oh, that was a back and forth war. I was like, no, that
Hmm.
was like her getting touched up and just not looking like she belonged in the UFC, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But combo, both of them though, dog. Both fights, the arena, the Russian Ronda versus Claudia Segula and Daria Zheleznyakova versus Melissa Dixon.
Yeah.
None, all four of them, bro. I can't like and they bantamweights, and I get new blood in the bantamweight division. But look at how when we say the name Jacqueline Cavalcanti,
Hmm.
we know what to expect from Jacqueline Cavalcanti. We see an exciting type of fighter from Jacqueline Cavalcanti, a
Hmm.
memorable fighter. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like when you say that name, I can go right back to a fight. You know what I'm saying? And think about what it is that she does in there. All four of these girls, man. All four of these girls. None of. I don't see them. I don't see them compete. And look how harsh we criticize Macy Chasson and you know what I'm saying, and Ketlin Vieira and Irene Aldana and Yana Santos. Look how hard we criticize them. Those girls would make easy work of any of those girls. All four of those girls that fought on that card last weekend, dude, easy work. There ain't none of those girls championship material at this moment. You
No,
know what I'm
right.
saying? And I'm just like,
Uh-uh.
man, it ain't no bantamweights out there.
No, like that's what I was hoping for. Like I knew like to a certain level, like if you just put them in there, we're gonna get some action. But
Right.
I was like, that's all fine and well, but I'm just like, do something. Like, cause Melissa Mullins, like, she strikes, but she got a ground game. But you notice how she didn't even use it, how
None.
she was just like fighting to the level of her opponent.
Yeah. Yes.
And she looked really like slow in there. I'm like, she taking bombs that she don't need to be taking. And when I looked at both fights, I was like, yo, where's the defense right now? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
where's the defense? Like, why is she not shooting now? She just like, oh, I'm gonna take these punches, and then I'm gonna give a couple punches. I'm gonna take a few more, and I'm just like, what's going on? Like, you
Yeah.
think this is gonna carry up to the level? Like, you lucky this ain't Cavalcanti. You
Right,
lucky this ain't
exactly. Yes,
Cavalcanti,
that's what I'm
man.
saying. Yes.
Because
Like
Cavalcanti,
Cavalcanti will smoke these girls.
she a smoker, man. Like,
Yeah.
she already showed like she already showed her level, man. Like,
Yes.
look, Easy he said, I'll always remember a beat down like that. I honestly won't, man. Like,
Me either.
I mean, if you bring her name up, I'll say, oh yeah, you mean that girl that got pieced up?
Yeah.
But now I remember Valentina versus Priscilla Cachoeira. That's because
That's
that
a
was just
beat
like
down.
that was a massacre.
Yes, that's a beat down. That's a
Hmm.
memorable beat down.
Yeah,
Always.
shoot. But even I'll tell you, BJ, about the LFA 211 fight, man, bro.
Yes.
Look, Easy he said I was impressed with Bia. He was really impressed. I can't say I was
Really.
like really impressed, man. I was glad she got to finish because that's what she was supposed to do. But I think it kind of came down to the level of her opponent just giving it to her, man. Like
Yes.
you saw, what'd you think,
Yeah.
man?
Exactly what you said, dude. Like it was just like she could have finished that fight, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like she could have finished that fight, but you know what I'm saying? She was just it was too many flat moments in that fight, man. You know what I'm saying? It was just I don't even know. It just wasn't memorable, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, Combo want me to watch this fight. You know what I'm saying? Combo talking about this fight. I'm gonna watch it. And it wasn't nothing, dog. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple good moments in there. You know what I'm saying? When she was turning up a little bit, getting some takedowns. You know what I'm saying? She did some good things like striking into a takedown real good ground and pound. But man, like her opponent, she just And I know you was looking. I know you was looking for that, dog. I know you was, man. You was looking for her for Dinwiddie to do, to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? You was looking for Dinwiddie to be big in there, man, and she just did not. And I'm
I
just
was
like, man,
like, yeah, because like you said, Bia, she did like get some takedowns, but even her striking looked okay. But I think that was because she had no takedown threat or no countering threat. Like,
yes,
if your opponent ain't doing anything, oh, you're gonna look great. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, you don't
exactly,
mind going in there taking some chances. And
right.
did you see that first takedown that Bia got? It was just so easy. She
It
just
was
like
easy, yes.
it was like slow motion and like she just like said, oh, I'm gonna walk up in here, and then Woody just like lifted her leg up and gave it to her and then just
Gave
went
it to
down. I
her.
was like, oh, come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
BJ, like this girl is look how she tower, man. She like 6 foot, dude.
yes, yes. And
What,
that's what I'm thinking. Dinwiddie getting ready to be big in here. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Getting ready to punish this little girl, kind of like in a way, you know what I'm saying, sort of like what Jamie Lynn Horst did to Vanessa Demopoulos. You know what I'm saying? That's what I
right.
was kind of what I was expecting. You know what I'm saying? Or what Manon did to Tabitha Ricci, man. I was kind of expecting that dude, and it just did not. It did not pan out like that.
I don't know, man. Like, I just don't get it because when you see these girls, like when they get in the gym and you looking at them, or whoever's training them is looking at them, you would be like, man, if this girl just did this, or if she just fought this way, like I could work with that, But it's kind of like they have them fighting down to a level of a 5'5" fighter, or 5'4".
Yes,
No, man, when you got
yes,
somebody that big, you need to be like, oh no, they special. You know what I mean?
yes.
You got to look at them like they special, because here we go. Look, I gotta say it, Dakota. I'm still
Yes,
not.
and that was a great point. That was a great point you
Yeah.
made. I meant to tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not fully, like, I'm not on that Dakota train like most people, where I just bring her up in every comment section. You know what I mean? Or
Right,
every conversation. But when I'm talking
right.
about big girls for their division, like Dakota owns every inch of the cage. She ain't
Yes,
playing. Even against
yes,
grapplers, like when Jenna Bishop tried to get up in her space, Jenna Bishop caught a knee to the head.
yes.
Seriously, she caught that knee to the head. But
Mm-hmm.
I saw Sierra Dinwiddie just on retreat, man. Like, she just kept, it was like you could see she was worried about being taken down.
Mm-hmm. She
And
wasn't ready.
when I saw that in the first round, I was like, oh man, I was just counting the time, man. I was just like, here we go. That first takedown came and she was on top of her. I was like, oh, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I just saw it maybe going 2 rounds at that, and that's what it was. I don't get it, man. Like, what do you think it is about these big girls that they not exploiting, man? In there,
I don't know, Combo. I don't know if it's like a speed thing, if they feel like the smaller opponent has like an athletic advantage over them, or something like that. Or if it's just the level that they're on. They don't know, what to do with somebody that's moving around. I'm saying, that's smaller and maybe a little bit faster than them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to punish. When you big, you got to punish that smaller fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to let them know, I'm not gonna let you get in close on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let you do nothing to me. And we see it happen all the time. We see. I mean, look at how Amanda Nunes kept Valentina at bay. I'm just going to use that as an example. Look at how Nunes kept Valentina at bay. You know what I'm saying? Look at how Manon kept Ricci at bay. We see it. We see it a lot. Look at how Manon kept Aaron Blanchfield at bay. You know what I'm saying? Not the most exciting fight, but it was exciting because it was a high level fight, and they was going back and forth with it. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe it's just a level thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just a level thing. I don't know for sure, but when you see fights like that for the belt in these lower organizations, man, that gives opportunity. I was thinking about this too. I didn't say it to you, but I thought I could bring it up. These are opportunities for people that's been released, like Montana De La Rosa. You know what I'm saying? Like, Montana can go over to LFA right now. You know what I'm saying? And fight for the belt. You know what I'm saying? Fight for the belt and go in there and beat whoever that beat Bia Mosquito, you know what I'm saying? And show her how, show her what's up. That'd be good for fighters like that. But maybe it's just a level thing, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's just I don't know, man. I don't know what Dinwiddie was doing. I expected a lot more from her. You know what I'm saying? Look, watching clips of her older fights in LFA, you know what I'm saying, and just seeing how big she is and stuff like that. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's her record, you know, only 4 fights or 5 fights, something like that. Maybe she should have waited before she fought for the belt.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna completely knock her. Maybe she'll come. I definitely think she'll come back from it. But yeah, like maybe her being 4-0, she was just ready for this level of jujitsu, which to me is crazy though because Bia, she's 4-0, and I guess it just comes. They both came in 4-0. It just comes down to that level of like striker versus that level of jiu-jitsu practitioner. You know what I mean? Like I get look, Bia, she worked on her takedowns and her jiu-jitsu was better than Woody striking. That's where it just kind of came down to. And she's transitioning better to MMA. But if Bia, if Dana wants to sign her because she was like, yo, I'm ready to be signed, like, what do you think?
No.
5-0?
No, sir. Because we're gonna no, and the reason I say that is because we just got done talking about those bantamweights that's fighting in the UFC right now, man. And they just, you know what I'm saying, they're just not living up to it. And you know what I'm saying? They're just not, even Dakota, if the UFC said they're gonna sign Dakota, okay, sign Dakota.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sign Dakota. Because, and the reason I say that is because we can back that up.
We back it up now, yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We back up Dakota being signed to the UFC. We can't back up Bia Mosquito or Dinwiddie being signed to the UFC. What can we go on? You know what I'm saying? What can we go on? So it's just, it's just levels to it. Like Tubi says, it's levels to this, and it just didn't. I wasn't excited. And another fight that I was just super let down, which I as a matter of fact, I was not let down because I was expecting this fighter to come in here and just do what it is that she does and just meander through a fight and not pull the trigger. She never pulled the trigger. And that girl who I've never even heard of beat Caitlin Neal into retirement. Caitlin Neal got beat so bad in that fight, dude. And I'm just looking at Caitlin Neal, and I'm just like, you just big for nothing.
Yeah, she was big in there too.
You know what I'm saying? This fight was at 130 pounds. That girl was clearly a flyweight, clearly smaller than Caitlin Neal. And Caitlin Neal, listen, if you standing taking pictures with Caitlin Neal in the middle of the octagon, that's where she's okay at. She'll throw jabs that don't land. All she does is punch your guard. Like it's good riddance for Caitlin Neal. And I hate to say that, dude, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to respect these fighters, you know what I'm saying? But good riddance, because Caitlin Neal looked like somebody who should have never even been on The Ultimate Fighter. Like, how did she even get a win on The Ultimate Fighter? And had the nerve to say that she was embarrassed that she lost to Juju. Man, Juju put that pace on you, Caitlin Neal, and then you couldn't do anything about it. Like Caitlin, and that was the best when Caitlin Neal was on The Ultimate Fighter. That's the best Caitlin Neal has ever looked in her whole career. Now that because my first time ever seeing her was on The Ultimate Fighter. You know what I'm saying? And then I go and watch her previous fights, and then fights after that in the PFL. I'm like, what? She took like 2 steps backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like this girl is like this doesn't even look good, but. Caitlin Neal, man, like it's time for her to retire, because if that's the best that she got, if that's as hard as Caitlin Neal can fight, that's an example. When I talk about dog, you know what I'm saying? Like that's an example of somebody who has absolutely zero dog, absolutely zero. Like she didn't even attempt to step out of the box on this girl. She let this girl box her up against the cage, dude, and finish her. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, that second round, man, when that girl, what's her name, Regina Terran, she just unleashed like a little combination. I saw Caitlin Neal's head bouncing back. I was like, man, she better stop it, man. That ref about to call this thing. And she was just like, that's it. Like, she accepted it. Like she
just flailing her arms up, dude. No defense, no footwork. Just flailing her arms up.
She threw the arms up. As soon as she threw the arms up, I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, she done. She done, man.
Oh, God, dude. Like, I'm going to have to be honest, Combo. I'm going to have to be honest. For the last couple of weeks, the last couple of showings as a whole for women's MMA has not been good, bro. It just has not been good.
Yeah, I the past couple weeks hasn't compared to the past 3-4 months. You know how when we got
Yes.
started going on like that's why I say, look, shout out to my girl Sam Hughes. You know, like
yes,
her, and then you had Wei Lee. Like they were setting it off like those past
yes.
few weeks, man. It was like back to back. Oh man, and you got to talk about look, Cachoeira, Josian Nunes. You know, and these are some look. That was a pick I got. That was a pick I got wrong too. I was like,
come on, why you have to take it back to Cachoeira?
I'm trying to build. Look, I'm trying to get you. Look, I'm trying to get you out of the dumps because you said the fights was so bad.
But Cachoeira be saving herself. She be saving her job in the UFC, dog.
Hey, she was like cut. Bruh, oh no, she put your girl to sleep,
I'm telling, it's like right when you think Cachoeira, like, okay, if Cachoeira lose this fight, Cachoeira out. Cachoeira go in there and knock somebody out. She did it with Lipsky too.
She did. Hey, she took Lipsky to 135. She was like, let's go up to 135. She was like, man, put her out.
That was crazy.
You mentioned that, man, like it just being bad. Like, so when you see fighters like this now, like Cheyenne Velismus and Caitlin Neal both retiring like back to back, like you think that's just solid now? You think that's good? You think that's good for the sport?
I think Cheyenne Velismus got a whole lot in her tank, dude. But she's so wrapped up in Roman Dolidze and those kids, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know what I'm saying? She's got 2 kids now, you know, and you know, when these women start to have kids, there's always that chance in the back in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this fighter could retire. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this fighter retires, I completely understand why they retire. You know what I'm saying? But then you got people like Yana Kunitskaya, man. You know, you got people like Yana Santos who will spit out a baby and be right back in the gym, dude, weeks later.
Yeah, she actually moves better than me now. I don't know. Like, seemed like Yana, her movement, her fluidity in there looks a little bit better than before.
Yes. You know, she was kind of stiff before. G-Frame, yes, she just had her second child by Dolidze. Yeah. 2 beasts, Mackenzie Dern. Dern spit that baby out and was right back in. You know, then you got people like, people like Cheyenne just said no. You got people like Brianna Van Buren, no, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? After they had Brianna Van Buren had like 3 kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the other young lady I was looking at from like, I think she left Contender Series. What was her name? The kind of darker skinned girl, Chantel Coates.
Yeah.
I believe she had a child too, and
she lost a child. She had a miscarriage.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
She was on the Ultimate Fighter. Remember?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then she couldn't make she was too heavy. She never did fight.
Yeah.
And so dude. You know, but Cheyenne Velismus, man, I hate that one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Cheyenne was an exciting fighter, dude. Like Cheyenne, she had a little bit of dog in her, dude.
Yeah, I liked her. Like she used to bring some action. She'd be talking junk too, man. And she had, I like her, you know, she was a stand-up fighter too. So, you know, I like the stand-up game she had. But I guess, man, like, you know, her heart really wasn't in it anymore. And once you have like she's 29 right now. So I'll probably say she might be done. I don't think she's coming back because I was gonna say maybe she needed like a year till their kids get to a certain age. But by the time they get to walk in and so on, she'll probably be like 34. You know what I mean? Like out of her prime, you know. So I think she might be fully done. But Caitlin Neal, I see her doing so much other stuff on her IG when I look every now and then to see what these fighters do. And I don't see her really like committed to fighting like that. Like she seemed like she want to be more of a model or a fitness type consultant, whatever, you know, which ain't bad. I mean, you know, don't clog up the game then, you know. So to me, I think it's good that they're leaving because, you know, you got a lot of girls out here who really want to fight.
Yes.
You know, you got a lot of girls out here who really want to fight. And like I said,
you think Chuk gonna come back? You think Chuk gonna come back?
I was just looking at her, man. She looked like she about to do any day, right?
But Chuk big, boy. Like I'm telling
you. I wouldn't be surprised she got like twins or something, man. Because she about to do.
Bro, I'm telling you, Chuk look big, dude. I don't know. Do you think she'll come back though? I think Chuk will come back for one more.
Exactly. That's exactly. I think she'll pull like a Lauren Murphy, maybe do one more, and then that'll be it. that'll be it for her. I
Yeah,
think that who knows though, like this could be it too. Like when she get really comfortable and she see how the division is going, really, man, like even come back for like a one and done to actually win. I don't know if she could do that right now because the division is tough, man.
yeah,
125 is tough right now, man.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Shoot.
crazy. But yeah, I'm happy to see Caitlin Neal go because she wasn't really contributing nothing to the sport, anyways. Like she wasn't doing anything. Like she wasn't even in the tournaments at PFL. You know what I'm saying? Like she
No,
wasn't even in the tournaments. She was just having these one-off fights. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't even winning them.
she
You
wasn't
know,
even no Samiko Inaba style. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
you know,
But she just wasn't. She wasn't doing anything. Yeah, that's true. Caitlin Neal ain't no spring chicken. Yeah, that's true.
what's up?
Um,
Gary said, yeah, Neil got washed by Regina. Oh man, she got
Washed.
washed, rinsed, and hung out
Yeah,
all in 2 rounds, man. Yeah, she
yeah.
she ain't won it. But what'd you think of the Combate card as a whole? Did you watch the whole card?
Oh, I watched it. Yeah, I liked it. I mean,
I liked
those.
it.
It was a couple of those fights that came on before that Neil fight. Them girls was in there banging, dog.
Yeah, I would I would say that first fight. Oh, let me pull up the card here. That first round finish. That girl Bianca Medina. She might
Yeah.
be a strawweight to look out for. And then that second fight was a flyweight fight. I think they was banging in that fight.
Yep.
So I think there's a few girls on here to look at. The one that did beat Caitlin Neal, she's like 20. I mean, she still got some growth, but I mean, hey, she could probably make it somewhere. I mean, let me see that fight was 130, right?
Yeah. It was at 130. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll have to pick a real weight, you know. The main event was good. The main event
The
was
main
good.
event was good. I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, the main event was good. But Caitlin Neal is one of those people that just like you said, scrolling across the screen. What makes a fighter memorable? There's nothing memorable about Caitlin Neal. The only thing memorable about Caitlin Neal is her wearing the fake lashes in the cage. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like other than that, it just but Valismus fought with attitude, man. And I like that. Go back and watch her fights, man. Like she get pissed off in there, she talks shit in there. She fought hard every time. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So I mean, God, I hate to see Valismus retire, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Out of the two here, yeah, definitely Valismus had more potential.
Yeah,
Had the most
absolutely.
potential, definitely, because like she was in the UFC, you know what I mean? She was
Right.
there, she made it there, and she fought like a UFC fighter to me. Like
Yes.
she kind of
Yes.
had, I won't say Aaron is a little bit more like reserved, I would say, but they still kind of had that mean girl attitude.
Yes.
So yeah, I do kind of hate to see her go like that, man. But hey, she said, I ain't clogging up the game. Let me go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Combate was awesome, two beats. Yeah, it was good. Easy said, I hate Combate. They don't even promote
Oh
their
no.
cards. He said, I miss so many, I don't even check them. Yeah, they don't promote like that. They really don't. I mean, they need to hire BJ. They need to hire one of us if they can't,
Facts.
you know, like they act like they're
Give us
doing
the
something right.
give us the exclusive interviews with their fighters, man.
Yeah, for real. Like
Yeah,
I get a translator. I know they mostly
absolutely.
specialize, in Brazil, from Mexico, of course.
Shit, you
But
could do a pre-recorded interview where you can edit it and have the responses in there. Like, yeah,
yeah, but they like to drop the ball instead. Yeah, yeah. LFA does better promotion. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Oh man. Yeah. So here you go, BJ. Yeah, because I know since you brought that up, let's talk about that though, man. Like, cause you brought it up. It was just been pondering on me, man.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
what makes a fighter memorable? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna ask you two ways, man. Like, what makes a fight memorable and what makes a fighter memorable? Just answer how you want to answer it because, like, yeah, now we get a lot of girls that come in and just try to bang, man. But do you remember them just because they bang?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
are you remembering them because they bang? Are you remembering because they walking away looking busted up? Because, like, honestly, I'm gonna be real. Look, the Rayan dos Santos fight and the Alice fight was a good fight, but are we gonna remember them girls? You know,
Yeah.
like will we really remember them? Like these girls right here. Like, look, JoJo never won a belt, but I remember her.
Right.
Jillian had kind of a rough start at 125,
Hmm.
but I remember this right here. I put the choke up here because
Oof.
Jillian has some fights, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Carol Rosa, you know, I'm not Carol Rosa, man, because
She.
you
Carol Russell
know
memorable.
what'd you say?
She memorable.
She memorable though. She's
Yes.
still memorable. Her and
Yes.
Aldana. And of course, you know, the champions, Joanna and Wei Lee, they memorable, man. But
Yes.
like for you, like that other night when you were bringing it up, like what was just kind of going through your mind about that? Like,
For me, what makes a fighter memorable is when it's not, and it's not necessarily one fight that will make them memorable for me. It's for me, it's like a catalog. You know what I'm saying? Like if I keep seeing something from you in multiple of your fights, you know what I'm saying? And some fighters grab me right off the rip. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
But you know when it's a like when I think about your catalog, and if I can remember specific things about multiple fights of yours, you know what I'm saying, then I find myself scanning through which card is coming up next, and I see your name on there, and I know that you, or if I catch Big Marcel and announce, oh, such and such is fighting such and such, and I see
Mm-hmm.
you, like I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta see that fight. You know what I'm saying? You know, and long story short, I'm gonna use Carol Hossa for an example. You know what I'm saying? When I seen Carol Hossa smashing people legs, you know what I'm saying, and landing big punches on people and stuff like that, and breaking these fighters down in a certain way that she can break a fighter down. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how she did Aldana. You know what I'm saying? Look, I forgot who legs was that Aldana's legs that she blasted to the
Yeah.
moon?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Aldana, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, man. You see that, you know, and then Joanna, man, because I was high on Carla when Carla won the belt. You know what I'm saying? Then Joanna came in, this unknown Russian girl. I mean, this unknown Polish girl comes in, and then she's, you know, that high paced Muay Thai kickboxer. You know what I'm saying? And you see her fight after fight. You see her kicking Valerie Letourneau in the face. You see her beating Carla Esparza against the cage. Like those early title defenses, that Jessica Andrade fight, the way she picked Jessica Andrade apart, like when a fighter does something like that consistently, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and even in the losses, like in that second loss to Rose, and that Zhang Wei Li fight, like it's just things that fighters do, man. Like you look at and it's not even something that I look for. It's more like a natural thing that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like Robertson, for example. You know what I'm saying? When because like that's like that season of the Ultimate Fighter, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of skeptical of that season. I didn't know any of those girls on that entire season. I knew not one of those girls on that season. You know what I'm saying? And when I say, you know, okay, I'm gonna watch this season, you know, they're introducing a new division, women's MMA. Of course, I love women. Of course, I'm gonna watch it. You know, and it was just, you know, and when it was all said and done, it was the finale. And the way Jillian twisted Emily Whitmire up in that like a pretzel in that armbar, I was like, okay, wait a second. This girl's got some dangerous jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain things like that stick out. Like when something sticks out, it's a natural reaction to remember who they are. You know what I'm saying? And when a fighter, but back to your question, you know, when you said what makes a fighter memorable, when that fighter comes in and that fighter is about that life and that fighter is about business, and you see that fighter go out there and execute their game plan, no matter what their opponent is, you know, no matter what their opponent is doing, you know what I'm saying? Like that is memorable for me. That sticks out for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, a quick example, and I'm gonna be quiet. Like that Julia Pilastri fight, you know what I'm saying? When she was fighting, dude, I'm thinking, man, this girl getting beat up, and then she flips it in the third round the way she did, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she flipped it in the third round, and she started, you know what I'm saying, coming in and landing shots, you know what I'm saying, and picking up the pace. Too little, too late. Granted, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But just that stuck Julia Pilastri in my head. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I like what she did there. I like how she realized that she was down 2 rounds and she tried to turn it up. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that sticks out for me.
Got you. Yeah, I mean
Yes.
that's great points, man. Because I'm feeling what you're saying right there. Because number one, for me, like what gets me into the fight is not somebody necessarily just coming in to take punishment. You know what I mean? Like back and forth. Like it's just like back in the day in school, like when we knew 2 kids were going to fight, we wanted to see who's going to win and who's going to fight
Yes.
to win, you know. But if
Right.
I was in the fight, I'd be like, I got to fight to win, you know. It's that heart. So that's like
Yes.
the number one thing, man, that attracts me to or makes me remember a fighter is when that person is coming to um, make the adjustments and overcome. You know, like JoJo. Whenever JoJo just first came in, and you know UFC was still, I mean WMMA was still kind of fresh.
Yes.
Me being a striking fan, Muay Thai
Yes.
fan, I was like, I want to see how far she can go. At the same time, I want to see, you know, how well she's digging, how well she fights, and how
Yes.
she digs deep
Yes.
with her particular style, you know. And for the most part, like early on, you know, throughout Invicta and so on, even into the UFC, I still remember her because that's what she was doing. She was still digging deep, you know.
Yes.
She might have never reached a certain level, a
Mm-hmm.
champion level, but every time she would come in there, it was to try and win, right? It was always
Yes.
to try to win. Like it
Yes.
wasn't just to lay back and say, "Oh, you know, I'm done. I'm just coming to get a paycheck." Like when she had to dig deep, she would do it.
Yes.
And to me, that's what makes a fighter memorable, man. Like when you see the fighter come in there and not trying to please the crowd necessarily, you in there trying, because to me that naturally comes if you're a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, if you doing what you know, people are gonna love it anyway because they're like,
Yeah.
oh man, that person like Nunes and Pena first fight and the rematch. You know, like you like, oh man, Pena like might be stuck in this one gear, but I know she's trying. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I know she's
Yes.
trying. Like
Yes.
she might, like I might knock her because of the technique, but I'm like, look at Amanda is still moving for 5 rounds. You know what I mean? Like if she
Yes.
came to just get a paycheck and lose or please the crowd, she would have got knocked out.
Yes.
I guarantee she would have got knocked out if she was trying to please the crowd. But she was
Pena was trying
fighting.
to win.
She was trying to win. It was the
Yes.
only way she knew how, but she kept trying. That's what made it like, okay, I see her. You know, I see her like that's a fighter. You know,
Yes. And like
um,
a lot of people, saying, I talk combo, I talk my shit. You already know that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But when I say that people like Casey O'Neill, people don't like Casey O'Neill, the personality. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And I get it.
yeah,
I get it. She's brash, she's abrasive, she says things, it is what it is. But what caught my eye about Casey O'Neill, you know what I'm
hmm,
saying, is Casey O'Neill, to me, she may not be the most technical striker or the most technical fighter, period. Her
yeah,
balance looks bad. She may not be the strongest fighter in the clinch. She may not have the most power. You know what I'm saying? But when Casey O'Neill steps in that, when the cage door closes with Casey O'Neill is in there to win. She has improved. She's consistent in her improvements. You know what I'm saying? Like she's had some slip ups in there. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But the girl comes to fight. You know what
hmm,
I'm saying? The girl come to fight. Like you stepping there with Casey O'Neill, it's kill or be killed with somebody like that. You know what I'm
hmm,
saying? And that kill or be killed mentality, you know what I'm saying? Because for me growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't had no brothers. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have
hmm,
no brothers, and I really didn't have no cousins, and really didn't have no friends that had my back. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
So I went to school every day with that kill or be killed mentality in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like I felt like, I felt like I was always on the defense, you know what I'm saying, a lot in my life. You know, so I was always wary of people around me, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I guess people looked at me like an easy target, my personality, you know what I'm saying? I'm a chunky guy, you know what I'm saying? So people look at that and they think, oh, that's an easy target. You know
hmm,
what I'm saying? Like, oh, I could, bully him or say something to him and I ain't got to worry about that. No, dude, I was the first person to smack somebody in their fucking mouth. You know what I'm
hmm,
saying? Like I was the first person to do that. And and I kind of recognize that with fighters. You know what I'm saying? I kind
yeah,
of recognize that mentality, like, oh nah, like you're not about to come in here and do whatever to me. Like I'm coming in here to make my stamp in here. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And that makes fighters like Jillian Robertson, for example. I got to go back to Robertson. You know what I'm saying? Robertson, a huge disadvantage. She always, to me, has been at a disadvantage because, especially at flyweight, not so much at strawweight, but at flyweight, she was small and she wasn't a striker. She had no striking. You know what I'm saying? But what did Robertson do? There was nothing that was going to stop Robertson from trying to implement her game plan. Now, if she had to walk through fire, if she had to get knocked out, if she had to get submitted, Jillian Robertson was going to go in that cage and try her hardest to put her game plan into play. And shit. And when you see that, like, it's not something you see, it's something you feel, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no question whether or not that she was in there trying to do. And the same can be said for a lot of fighters. There's no question, and you can feel it when there's no question that fighter is going in there to win. Like Weili, every time Weili step in that cage, Weili in there trying to win. Look at that performance she had against Tatiana Suarez. If she would have just laid down against Suarez, we would have been saying Tatiana Suarez is the greatest strawweight of all time. But no, Zhang Weili was like, hell no. Like, she's not about to come in here and out wrestle me and pin me down and beat my ass like that, like she beat everybody's ass. Like, she's not about to do that to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you got to respect that. You have to respect that. And that is what sticks in people. That's why you talking about MMA and you say the name Zhang Weili. People, I don't care how white male ages 20 to 40 or whatever the demographic is for the UFC. You say the name Zhang Weili, you say the name Joanna Jędrzejczyk, you say the name Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena, you know what I'm saying? You say those names, people are going to know exactly who those fighters are. You go in there and say, oh, yeah, man, I like Melissa Mullins. They're going to be like, who?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You know, you got to be, or you go in there and say, go into a conversation and say, yeah, Erin Blanchfield might be one of the toughest females out there. People are going to know who Erin Blanchfield is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is.
Like, there's got to be that balance, like, where there's a level of trying and, you know, skill, but there's got to be that heart there. Like, it can't just be, oh, I'm just going in here to show like I'm collecting a paycheck. You know what I mean? Or like
Agapova. She was there for a check.
Oh man.
She was there for a check.
Don't even bring her up. We talking about that. I was thinking about that Jessica.
Did she get knocked out by Jessica? Did she get finished by Jessica?
I don't think she got finished, but she got dropped in the fight. I didn't even watch. I just saw like a clip of it, man. I mean, you see how they were trying to sell that fight, man. Like,
bro, I'm telling you,
it went from a bare knuckle fight to like a stank fest. You know what I mean?
Bro,
like,
that was crazy. That was bro. That was disgusting, bro.
Yeah, I was like, nobody's trying to see that. I was like, don't do that, girl. Don't.
Right.
Oh man. Oh.
And Jessica, nasty looking, man. I ain't even. Anyway, go ahead, man. I mean, come on, man.
That's
you ain't Mackenzie Dern in there. Sit down, Jessica. Like, sit down.
Oh man, he said she ain't Tabitha Ricci. Oh,
you ain't Tabitha. You ain't Tabitha Ricci, man. Sit down somewhere.
You know,
neither one of y'all are even close to any of those. Man, sit down. Yeah, Jessica, I've been thinking she fine for years, man. Like, Jessica, come on.
Just fight. Just fight.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think, look, like, see the thing, like, we ain't like I don't even have to bring up like championship level fighters, but there's a lot of girls I remember that ain't touched the belt. You know,
yes.
And there's a lot of girls now that won't touch the belt, but you'll remember them because of what they put into the game and how they fought. You know, like Cashware. You know, some people ask me like, "What do you think about that girl? Who's that one girl you follow?" They might say, you know, Aaron or somebody, or you know, Natalia Silva, or somebody who don't even have the belt. They might say, "Oh, what happened to Amanda Lemos or somebody?" I'll be like, oh, they still fighting. You know, I remember. You know, I'm keeping up with them.
Yes.
I could tell them. But if they ask me about some girls that just don't fight to a level of like urgency, I'm like, who? You know, I'm just being real.
Yeah. No, that's real stuff, Combo. That's real.
And it might sound harsh to the fighters if they listening. It might sound harsh to their trainers if they listening. But my thing is, hey, that should be lighting a fire up under their butt. Like when we get on here talking, because are we saying anything negative? Like really? No. Like, because if you lose, I mean, what am I supposed to say? Oh yeah. She won a moral victory. You know what I mean? No, you lost. You lost. So I'm just like, when I see somebody like you were talking about last week in Russian Ronda, like, shout out to Burt MMA, man, because Burt MMA, man, he was posting like matchups.
Yeah.
And as I was scrolling through, everybody was matched up. And then in Big
Red, that was so funny.
He was like, cut her out of the UFC.
Yes, like cut, remove, get rid of her. Yeah, like I get it.
And that just opened my eyes.
Mad at it.
Yeah, like that just opened my eyes because I'm like, okay, you want to be fair, but it's like, are you fighting to a level of like, to hold your career? Like, all right, look, Montana, she might not have been ranked, but she was ready to go. She made weight. On top of that, She never been
Yes.
suspended for anything.
Right.
See, that girl, Alex Leva, she been suspended for something. She was gone for like a year.
Yes.
You know, but I'm just saying, we want to be fair. Okay, why would you cut Montana, who was ready to fight, never has any trouble with anything,
Never
right? Why'd
missed
you cut someone
weight,
like her?
never
You
been
never miss weight,
suspended for anything,
right?
always ready to go. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on.
but here you got a girl, like, people like, even the commentators, you know, they was like, okay, she need to do something. Like, she need to pick her hands up. Like, where's this judo she was using these last few fights?
Yes,
Why is she a
yes,
striker all of a sudden? You know what I mean?
yes,
So
yes.
nobody really gonna remember it. Like, just because you use Ronda's name in there is not gonna make you memorable. Basically, I'm just saying, like,
Yes.
using that name Ronda is not gonna make you memorable. So
Well, she was trying to use that, to make
yeah,
herself memorable. But no, man, that
uh-uh.
ain't. You got to do something. Now, if you came in here judo tossing people like Amanda Ebas, you know what I'm saying? You come in here
Mm-hmm.
tossing big girls, putting big girls feet over head in the octagon. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was tossing Chuk around, and that was crazy to see her
Oh
toss
man,
Kajan like that, dude. But if you come in there doing that, then okay, Russian Ronda living up to the Ronda moniker. You know what I'm saying? But man, you
mm-hmm.
ain't even doing nothing.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's the thing. Ebos is another fighter I remember. You know, she's another fighter I'm
absolutely.
gonna remember because
Yes,
they fought. They are fighting to fight, like, to win. Even if they
yes,
don't win, they fight to win, man. And like, when you
yes,
put two people like that in the cage, you gonna get a war. Like, they're gonna be doing whatever they got to do to win, man. Like,
yes.
I'm trying to think, man. Like, oh yeah,
Mackenzie
yeah.
Dern,
Mackenzie Dern. Shoot, even this past Friday, man, Liz Carmouche, man, like,
Liz
this girl,
Carmouche.
she's 41 years old, but like, she's fighting better than some of these girls out there. Like, you gonna remember her name, man, because she was fighting a young girl this past weekend. She's still like throwing bombs and taking bombs, you know?
Yeah,
So you look at somebody like that, they just show like so much more than just coming to take a punch or, coming to try to please the crowd. Like, you gotta go in there and say, I'm better than this person. And the person across from him has to think the same way,
yeah.
and they're trying to take something from you. But I don't know, man. Like, when you see what kind of answers both questions, but like, what about for like a memorable fight for you? Like, what makes it like where you can just go back and say, I want to watch that fight or
Want to watch
recommend it to
that fight
somebody?
again?
Yeah.
Um, uh, for me, what makes it memorable? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a fight that, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm promoting a fighter, you know what I'm saying? If I want somebody to see a specific fighter, then I'm going to go find a great performance by that fighter. But if it's just a fight, you know what I'm saying? If I want to show somebody like a good fight, like, for example, I would like one of the first. I mean, and this is crazy, but this is how you know I'm a hardcore fan. One of the first fights I'm gonna pull up is gonna be what's his name? Irene Aldana versus Lucy Pudilova. Like, that's one of the first fights I'm gonna pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you wanna see some of the best of women's MMA, like one of the best showings of what these girls can do. That's one fight. You know what I'm saying? Or I will pull up like a if you want to go high level with it, I'm gonna pull up Valentina versus Amanda 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, the second one, that was a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what makes a fight great is when you see, like a fight, a singular fight, no matter who it is. What makes it memorable to me is like when you see two people putting their game to work, you know what I'm saying? And it's back and forth, like a back and forth tug of war. Like, okay, this section of 2 minutes, this person is winning, but the next minute and a half, this person, you know what I'm saying, reversed it, and now this person is dominating the fight. You know what I'm saying? Similar to like that Kat Zingano Leah McCourt fight. You know what I'm saying? That's one fight that sticks out. That was a dog grueling fight. That fight, the Leah McCourt, speaking Bellator wise, the Leah McCourt Kat Zingano fight, and then the Conor Watanabe and the Lima McFarlane fight, those two fights, dude, those two fights were some grueling fights, man. And it was back and forth nobody ever jumped out ahead of the other person in those fights. You know what I'm saying? Kat Zingano and Leah McCourt, they may not have the best striking, but the clinching and the grappling in that fight, the same with McFarlane and Conor Watanabe, like, Ilima Lay was winning on the feet, but when it came to them grappling exchanges against that cage, Conor Watanabe was getting the better of Ilima Lay in those exchanges. You know what I'm saying? But on the feet, Ilima Lay was beating her at range. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then same with Kat Zingano. Kat was throwing those slicing knees and elbows, on Leah, busting Leah McCourt up. But positionally, Leah McCourt was dominating Kat in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, positionally, like, Leah showed she was stronger and bigger than Kat. Kat said it herself. She wasn't ready for the size and how big and how long Leah McCourt was. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like fights like that. Those are the type of fights that I would, that stand out to me as memorable. Those back and forth grueling fights like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer to the question.
Okay, this fight right here, this to me was one like,
yes, the Lupi
man.
and Vanessa Demopoulos. Yes, that's another one.
Because
great one.
They might not have had like the highest skill level in there or the best defense, but again, they were both trying to take each other's heads off to win.
Yes.
It was because really going into the fight, I picked Lupi because I thought she was gonna go in there and just maybe box her up, but it was like Demopoulos just kind of pulled her into a war, and it went 5 rounds, man, and it was one of them fights.
It was one of those fights. Yes,
I would probably say, man, you could put that neck and neck with Joanna and Wei Li.
Lee, yeah.
The only thing that separates, of course, is skill level
promotion,
and
promotion and
everything.
Levels. Mm-hmm.
But if you want to fight where you see two women just like going at it and going toward this fight, it was crazy, man.
Yes.
This was crazy.
Yes.
I remember hitting. I think I hit both of them up. They both responded. I should have got an interview right after they fought.
Right then and there.
Because they was they came in smooth and everything, and then they left like they just been through a war with a couple of bears, so
yes,
stuff like that, man. Like, that's a memorable fight to me. And even like Joanna and Andrade, like,
yes,
that was a beautiful technical shutout for Joanna. Like, it was a shutout, pure shutout, but Joanna had to fight for it because Andrade was still game, and I think, didn't Andrade put a lump on Joanna's head in that fight? I think she did, right?
I think she busted up her nose in that fight.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So, Andrade was in there. She was in there, but she just didn't have the technique or skill to get it done. But I will always remember that one too, man. Like,
and that's another thing too, man. Like, a fight like that one, like that, Andrade and Joanna, if you're not like a fan and you don't know who Andrade is, that fight it's just gonna look like a one-sided fight in a way. You know what I'm saying? But knowing how dangerous Andrade is when it comes to striking, and seeing how Joanna fought pure technique in that fight. It was pure technique, man, and she just picked her apart and just beat her up, dude. Like, and it was knowing who. Like, if I didn't know who Andrade is, you know what I'm saying, I would have thought, oh, that other girl's just, she just, just styled on her. Like, nah, that wasn't a styling, man. That was a high level fight, man. At that time, the stakes were high in that fight, dude. You know what I'm saying? And they were the creme de la creme at that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you watch Joanna do that to somebody like Andrade, it was like, man, like, Joanna is really she's really that good. It just made me have more respect for somebody like Joanna. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like, knowing who Andrade is and seeing how Joanna did that was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy, man.
I know another thing that made like Joanna, even like Claudia at the time, memorable was like back in that Tough House, like 2014. Like, I was watching them on the side, and then I was watching the Tough Girls. I was like, the Tough Girls, of course, they're all tough, but I was like, when I seen Joanna and Claudia go to war, I was like, these girls ain't like Ultimate Fighter girls right here, man. No. Something was already sticking to me with them. They were already memorable, even when they fought that first time. That's why I was like, these girls right here, they might not. They all hung, because Rose beat Joanna. But I'm just saying, like, at the time when I seen them, they made something memorable about like how tough they were, like how they separated themselves, like, from some of these other fighters, and like when Joanna was matched up with Carla, I was like, oh man, I was scared for Carla. I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah,
man. I was like, I don't think
yeah.
she gonna get this, man. And like Joanna just showed that level, man, and
Hmm.
she ran right through it. So just stuff like that, man. Like, ain't nobody asking, like, okay, I know people always ask me, oh, do you think this person gonna be champion? This person, they're gonna take it all the way. I don't think so, but I'll remember them because of how they fought,
Yeah,
like,
and I may not think they're gonna win the belt, but I
yeah,
think that doesn't mean I'm not looking forward to their next fight.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
Like, it's like a
yes,
TV show. Like, I don't necessarily watch a TV show that's going to win an Emmy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't watch all
yes.
that crap
That's
like
me
that.
too,
'Cause,
bro.
yeah, like I watch stuff that I can remember. And
Yes.
like to be said, Andrade is his all time favorite. You don't watch Andrade to get like a Shakespearean performance. You know what I mean?
Yes, you looking for when you looking for that Walking Dead type of,
Oh
you
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
take your head off.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
yeah, and it's and I think it's another thing too, man. I think some people as fans, are so like hyper focused on the belt. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of fans view fighters, especially women, they view them in the reflection of the champion. You know what I'm saying? Which that is a way to view it, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you gotta, with some of these fighters, man, that's not fighting for the belt, you gotta take in what you're seeing. Don't look at everything in the shadow of the champion. Look at the fight for what it is. Like, I know it was big implications on the Aaron Blanchfield and Manon fight. You know what I'm saying? Huge implications on it. And that just, those implications made it that much sweeter. But even if that wasn't the implication, if they would have been matched up after Manon beat Tabitha Ricci and after Aaron Blanchfield beat JJ Aldridge, I still would have been just as hyped for it. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
I
I feel
definitely
like
would have.
I feel like I still would have been as hyped for it because you got two girls that's going in there, they fighting to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got two girls. Okay, one more example. It may not be as high level, but when Montana fought Viviane Araujo, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good fight. Like, this is gonna be an exciting fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how Montana is going to come out, and I know that Viviane Araujo is, you know what I'm saying? She likes to damage up. Like, if you trying to strike with Araujo, and Araujo realizes that she's a better striker than you, Araujo gonna beat you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's and I was thinking, Montana got to be on her, on her P's and Q's with the stand up, because I know she's falling in love with her striking. You know what I'm saying? And that fight turned out to be exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't always look at stuff in lieu of the champion. Like, I don't always look at it I don't look at things like with the champion in comparison to the champion, like Lupe Godinez versus Mackenzie Dern. I just knew that was going to be a good fight. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I knew that was going to be a good fight, and I was excited just to see the matchup. Like, I'm like a styles make matchup driven fan. I like to see the different clash of styles, man. Like, that's what gets me going. Like,
Yeah.
knowing what this person does and knowing what this person does. Okay, lock them in a cage together. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what kind of gets my juices flowing.
It was a good fight too. The decision didn't favor everybody, but Lauren Murphy and Andrea Lee was a good fight.
That was a good fight. Yes, it was. It was a good fight.
And you know who
And
else is memorable? Who don't necessarily knock people? Angela Hill, man.
Angela Hill.
Angela Hill.
Angela Hill's fights are memorable.
Angela Hill.
Because
Her
because
fights are
when
memorable, man.
because when
Like,
Angela Hill when that stone get the rolling downhill for Angela Hill,
mm-hmm.
like, dude, you know what I'm saying? When that momentum get the building in like round 2 for Angela Hill, you just watch her take off. Like, you just watch her style. She may not knock people out, you know what I'm saying? She may not finish a lot of people, but it's nice to see Angela Hill style when she's styling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Simple.
yeah. Like, she'll come in there and like just have her own type of style, and like I said, like, she'll make you remember that because the level that she fights at. Like, she never quits. I think there was times where she was still learning her ground game, but as you see her progress, you start seeing her rack up wins. You start seeing her like do different things. So when you see her developing, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, Angela Hill, she's not just here to get a paycheck like some
Right.
fighters. She's
Right.
here to grow. like she might not had, because you remember when they signed her to the Tough House, she was only like 1-0.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I thought was crazy. I was like, oh, I know what they're doing here, because they matched her up with Carla.
Yes.
Come on.
And
Like,
they
she was a
knew
number
she was like a
16.
kickboxer. She was like a kickboxer.
She was a number 16 seed with like one fight, and they match you up with the number 1 Carla. I was like,
Yes.
come on. That was, I know what y'all are doing. So I was just like, all right. From there, Angela Hill just kind of had her growth throughout the UFC, got cut, went to Invicta, and came back.
Came
So
back.
if somebody does that, that shows you that they are a memorable fighter to me. I don't see that as just somebody that just comes to show the skin or anything like that. Like, it's showing in her numbers. Like, she got a lot of controversial losses too.
Yes.
And according to you, she knocked somebody down named Amanda Lemos.
She dropped Amanda Lemos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah.
I still got to go back and look at that, but
I'm gonna do round by round on that one.
Yeah. But but there's 3 fighters I named that are non-champions, but they're like some of the toughest. I say Angela Hill, Carla Esparza, and Tisha Torres.
Yes.
And Tisha's another one. Tisha don't knock a lot of people out, but I remember, she's one of the reasons I started watching like Invicta real closely.
Yes.
So they're gonna go down as some memorable fighters like that. And that's the thing. People gonna say, oh man, they ain't gonna be in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, I ain't say they were.
Right.
I ain't say they were. I just said that this person was a good fighter, and that's all I expect sometimes, is just somebody to be showing like a good fighter. Yes. And that's what makes me remember him, man, like for real. G Frame said, remember Joanna said, back to the jungle where you belong. Oh yeah. I ain't forget that, man. When she said that to Claudia, I was like, oh, she about to get hers. Sadly, it didn't come in the form of Claudia. It came in the form of Rose.
Yeah, it came in the form of Rose. Yep. She tried to bully Rose, though.
She tried to bully Rose. Rose wasn't having that, though.
No.
Rose was on her, like, unstable day that day, and I was like, don't mess with Rose when she's unstable like that.
I rightfully ignored that comment from Joanna. I was like, nope, I want to like you. I'm not even
man. I couldn't, man.
I had to move it to the back.
I remember y'all was like, did she really say that? Because who was in the house? Was Khalil Roundtree there? Because that was the time they had men and women. Was that Khalil? Like, they had to kind of pull them back?
No, that wasn't Khalil. No, Khalil was on the all men season.
Oh yeah, he was on the all men's.
Yeah.
Because he was a black guy over there. I can't remember which fighter it was, but
was it Uriah Hall?
Oh man, like, I gotta look at show up now, because whoever it was, I was like, it looked like he wanted to rip her head off.
Yeah, she said that. She did say that.
Let me see. Team Yohan. Okay, yeah. See, they already got the picture up here. It was Khalil.
Was it Khalil?
It's Khalil. I thought so. Yeah, it was Khalil. Here's a picture. Yeah.
So was Khalil on 2 seasons of The Ultimate Fighter?
Was he on 2 seasons? Because that was light heavyweights and strawweights. So, man, I can't remember. If he's been on 2. Maybe somebody in the comment section.
I thought he was. Let me see the Ultimate Fighter.
See, here you go. There it is. When she said that, I was like, this sounds like somebody from high school. I heard that in high school before, I never had to say it directly towards me, but I heard other kids say it to other black kids. White kids would say, oh, you need to go back to Africa. I'd be like, dude. I was like, I was born here. That's what I was thinking. I was like, bro, I'm born here. Like, Claudia might not have been born here, but still, she here. I mean, Joanna, you ain't born here.
Well, Joanna was so fine on that season, though. I had to just ignore it, man, because she was just looking so fine that whole season, dude. Like, I don't even know how to put it.
I couldn't. I was like, dude. I was like, let me come up in there dressed like a girl just to whoop her.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Come up in there and whoop her. Man, I mean, since then, like, I'm not one to hold grudges. I mean, shoot, since then, people change. She got beat downs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, she got home
got
a
it
couple
back.
times.
She got it back. Yeah, she
And
got
she
it
did
back.
come at Wei Lee with some of that crap too, man.
She did. Yes, she did. Come. Yep.
She wasn't done, man. But Wei Lee, Wei
But
Lee,
Joanna, man, she just talked that smack, dude. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's just what she did.
Mm-hmm. It
But you
bothers
had to.
some people, but it don't bother some. Like it didn't get to Rose, and it didn't get to Wei Lee because Wei Lee didn't really speak English. I remember Wei Lee was like,
She's like, shut
told,
up.
yeah, Wei Lee like, shut up.
Wait, they was facing off, and Joanna said something, and
Wei
Willie
Lee,
said, "Shut up."
yeah,
That's
Wei Lee
boy.
was ready to post. You like, shut. That was the funniest thing I ever heard, man. I was like, that's the best thing you could say to somebody, man.
Yes,
It's like,
it
shut
pissed
up.
Joanna off too. You could tell it pissed her off. Oh, that pissed her
Oh
off
man,
real bad.
real man. Look at Khalil though. Look at Khalil's face, man.
Yeah, that was it. Might have been Khalil then. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. It's just I don't know, man. But when it's all said and done, Joanna made herself memorable. Everybody will remember Joanna on J Check for one
yeah,
reason or another, whether you liked her or whether you didn't like her.
yeah.
And she will always be remembered. And long reigning champion talked that smack. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But she was a real. She was a real G. You know what I'm saying? When that cage door closed, she was a real G. I've talked about those. I've talked about G's on my podcast before. You know what I'm saying? And you got them G's in there that walk in there and it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
'cause,
saying?
there always a fighter that's like, I know a lot of dudes like that. Like I don't like him, but I'd be like, dang, that dude, he got a head like a brick,
Yeah. Yeah.
hard headed, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, dude, this dude, he can fight,
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
Absolutely.
and she do that. I mean, she put everything on the line, whenever she was fighting. So, I mean, that's what it is though. Like you always remember, you can say, oh, women's mixed martial arts. You can say, oh yeah, I remember Rose. I remember Wei Lee.
Rose. Yeah.
I remember Joanna.
Yep.
So because that's one thing. Everybody gonna say, oh, Wei Lee's the GOAT. No, Joanna's GOAT. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
who dethroned both of them? Rose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even Rose, like she stands on something. So legend killer. She's a legend killer. It's
she
just
is.
crazy, man. So
She is. She ain't beating Valentina though.
no.
Especially not this. It's crazy, man. Like this, and I said this in our last one, dude. But Valentina just keep on getting better, dude. Like
Get better.
She just gets better, dude. And everybody keep asking about retirement, and like I love her responses to that, dude. She just starts chuckling. She's like, whenever I feel like I don't want to fight anymore or something like this, she goes, she said, when I feel like I can't do it anymore, then I will retire or something like this. But right now, I feel my punches, I feel my power. Like when she starts saying, I'm like, yo, stop asking her that question, man. Like, stop asking her that.
That's why I want that's why I want Valentina to be like, shut up.
Yes, like shut up, man.
Like, don't ask her that. Like, she ain't retiring. Does she even show signs of a fighter that needs to retire? Like, just leave that alone, man. Like,
God, she beat the dog out of dang.
Yeah.
Dog, like,
Yeah,
God, like, dude, like, if the fight would have been, if all 5 rounds, if the beginning and the end of the fight started round 2 to round 5, it would have been, I would have said that fight was, it was a close fight, but Valentina won. I still would have picked Valentina to win the fight. But round 1, dude, round 1, the way Manon walked out of round 1, she set the tone for the rest of the fight. Like, Valentina set the tone for the rest of the fight. She was like, I'm gonna start beating you. I'm gonna start beating your ass right out the gate. Manon looked like she had been in a 5-round fight after round 1. When I seen that, I said, yeah, dude, I was just sitting there stuck. I couldn't even move.
Right.
I was like,
and
look at her face.
And to me, that should have been like the next level that Manon had to show in that fight. Like, if somebody going to try to draw a fight out, you got to pull out that other weapon,
Yes.
And that's what I say, like, that's what Grasso did, because Valentina was winning that fight. But when Valentina kept getting comfortable, like, Valentina probably could have finished Grasso, I think.
Yeah.
I think she could have finished it early, like when she was getting takedowns early in the fight. There was a couple of times she would get a takedown, she would just lay on Grasso though,
Yeah.
right? She wouldn't finish it. Grasso was fighting to finish. So my thing is like when Manon seen her drawing a fight out and just jabbing, she had to go to the ground. Like they had to go to that ground level, but they did. I'll
Yeah.
do that video, man. I keep forgetting, man.
Yeah. I want to hear your thoughts on that for real. I want to hear your thoughts on, that topic right there. You know what I'm
Axel
saying?
want
That's
to hear it
specific.
too. You Axel wanted me to hear it. I was like,
Yeah.
I get to it. Man. I really do. It's been a month now, and yeah, I get to it. I get to it. I get a chance, man. But
Easy. He said Manon had that deer in headlights look.
I don't
I
think
never. I don't think she really had that.
no, that was like
No.
Megan Anderson against
Yeah.
Nunes. Like I think it wasn't really like deer in the headlights. It was just a surprise
It was like a
that
whoa.
because
Yeah.
the first round she experienced something she hasn't experienced in her last 7 fights in the UFC.
Yes.
So it was like they didn't come in with the mindset to say, what if this happens? What if I get my nose
Yes.
busted?
Yes. Because she
So
got. I mean, she was. But Manon. But I have to give. As bad as Manon got beat up in that first round. You know what I'm saying? I still have to give Manon credit though, because Manon never lost composure.
no,
She never fell apart. You know what I'm saying? And she never let the fight go like that for the rest of the fight. She
no,
made
she did.
adjustments.
Yeah. Like had she maybe done what she did in 3 and 4, maybe the fight would have been different. But when
Yes.
she tried to match Valentina for speed, that wasn't gonna work. But when she started to get a little bit grittier and actually took Valentina down, I was like, okay, like
Yes.
now we seeing something. But the thing is, like, it just wasn't all put together right, man. Like
Right.
it was too much here, too much
She should have
there.
led with that.
Oh yeah, she
Yes.
didn't lead with that, man. She was fighting behind Valentina too much,
Yes.
So
Yes.
lesson learned though. I think she can still beat a lot of the other girls though.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
honestly, man, like I know Easy and Two Beats they promoting Natalia Silva. I still think Manon might get that, man. But that's a close one. That's a close one.
That's a close one. Yep. It's gonna take somebody. Natalia Silva. She just. Every now and then somebody comes along with a style that, what I'm saying, that just neutralizes a lot of people. We saw that with Chikagian. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, it's just a style that's just bad for a lot of people. It doesn't matter how good or how bad you are. The way this person fights is just a bad matchup. But it's
Yeah.
gonna take somebody, like I said, it's gonna take somebody to slow Natalia Silva down. Somebody to grab hold of Natalia Silva and slow her down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you're not gonna do that, if you don't lead with that, you're not gonna beat this girl like right now.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna beat this. For me, it's gonna take somebody like Aaron that's gonna pursue Natalia Silva until she gets her. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what Aaron does. You know what I'm saying? Aaron's not gonna play that game with Natalia Silva like that. Natalia Silva's not big like Manon. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not gonna be somebody that I think Aaron would struggle as bad as she struggled against Manon to take her down. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I think if Aaron can get her hands on Natalia Silva, she can take Natalia Silva down. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that Aaron's can, that's how it's going to happen. Aaron's going to have to figure out how to get her hands on Natalia Silva. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to take somebody who's persistent and consistent like Aaron Blanchfield to wrap up Natalia Silva like that. And I think that's one of the people that's a dangerous fight for Natalia. That's a high risk fight for Natalia Silva.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think that when you're dealing with like the 5 girls at the top right now,
Yes.
Styles, anything can really happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
But should
Yes,
be here,
sir.
man. Like it's been a good show. I know we
Absolutely, it has.
shorter. Look,
It has.
it's Taco Tuesday,
It is.
and I did make some, so I got to get some of this in before I go do some other stuff
Hey,
tonight.
bro, if you want me to be honest, this has been one of my favorite episodes.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna
This has been one
chop
of
it
my
up a little
favorite
bit and send you the
episodes.
videos too for it. So yeah,
Yes.
we had some good. You got some good points in this one. Good conversation,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
But
Hey,
shoot,
this is episodes like this. This is why we do the mashup, y'all. This is why we do the mashup right here.
that's why I
This
put
right
part
here.
1 up there, because I was like, there's always like a time when I'm just gonna have to revisit this memorable thing, man. Because I'm
Yes.
like, are y'all trying? You know what I mean? Like, are y'all that's what it comes down to making the statement, man. Like,
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to start. Holding the fire to some of these debutantes, dude. These
I
girls
am.
that's debuting,
I am too.
but I'm gonna have to start holding
Hey,
the.
Dinwiddie.
Then yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
gonna have
saying.
to. These girls that come into the UFC, this UFC debut, I'm gonna have to start holding them to the flame, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ain't coming in with it, you ain't coming in with it. You ain't getting no showtime on my podcast.
I like
Dude, I mean, you know, that's why I told you. Who did I tell you? You ain't gonna never hear me talking about Russian Ronda ever. You ain't gonna never hear me make a video dedicated to her, bro. At
Oh,
all.
bro. Oh man. I might just to break it down on what she need to go, but you see, I didn't do one.
Right, exactly. Yeah, look, I didn't even have like, you know, after these fights, you know, I'll usually make like a post fight sometime, you know, most of the time. But dude, I didn't. There was nothing that like I was like, do I really want to go through making a post fight for any of these fights? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm not gonna do it.
Hey, I gave that energy to Jenna Bishop and Liz Carmouche.
Yeah, Jenna Bishop looked good out there though.
Yeah.
Jenna Bishop looked good out there. I give her that.
Hey,
She
you
was
know what
happy
you said?
too.
You know what you said? Ain't nothing getting no showtime. I'm gonna put it like this for them fighters. Look, y'all got a problem with what I'm saying? Come on for an interview.
Yeah,
We'll talk.
Yep, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it because
Yep.
I ain't cuss y'all out. I ain't say nothing wrong. Like,
Yep.
I'm talking about the L that you took. That's all. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know, that's it. That's all it is,
That's
man.
it.
But hey, shout out to everybody in the chat and BJ. Let everybody know where to follow you. They know though by now.
Yes, it's about time to rise by to here. My cat is playing hockey with a bottle top. She's trying to get my attention. She want me to get off this podcast.
All right.
But yeah, No Filter MMA right here on YouTube, guys. Go and subscribe, guys. You know, it ain't nothing but heat coming from over there. You know, Combo, he like to keep it on ice a little bit. I like to heat it up. You know what I'm saying? So come on over there. There's not like my boy Ephraim Gonzalez says, there ain't a filter in sight. So
ain't no filter in sight.
Yeah, man. Hey, Combo, another episode, another fire episode, bro.
And another one down, bro.
Yes,
and
sir.
We'll see y'all in 14 days.
Yes, sir. Peace out.
Peace.